Okay, so how do you link a CC4 character inside of iClone to a MetaHuman inside of Unreal with Unreal 5.2? So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you've got the latest plugins, and in Reallusion Hub, it's going to show you what your latest Unreal livelink is, and 1.22 is what it should be. And that's for the iClone side of the plugin. Your Unreal plugin for livelink will be version 1.51. That's the latest. There is a mistake actually on the marketplace that says 1.52, but that's not true. It's 1.51. And for the character creator and iClone auto setup plugin, it's not going to be very helpful looking in the Reallusion Hub, but if you open up iClone and then go into the plugins menu and then character creator and iClone auto setup, browse files, then open the Unreal folder, you'll then see this one is the latest, which is Unreal Auto Setup 1.32 for Unreal 5.2. When you open that up, there's two separate things. There's content and there's plugins. Plugins, right now, actually, you need to make sure that this is installed in your engine. And this content folder needs to be installed when you make your Unreal project, which we'll do. All right, so let's keep going with step 2, creating our Unreal project and configuring the plugins. So open up the Epic Launcher and make sure you've got Unreal Engine 5.2.1 installed. And if you don't, go into your library, install that, and then launch the engine. And then click on Film, Video, and Live Events, blank. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, we want Starter Content off and Ray Tracing on. And then name your project and click Create. Once it opens up, you can click to update the project if it prompts you to, and then go up to the Edit menu, Plugins, and type in iClone up here, and select the Character Creator and iClone Auto Setup and the iClone Live Link, and then don't click on Restart Now. Just close the Plugins window and right-click on your main map and go Show in Explorer. That's just a fast way to open up your Unreal Project window. And then leave this Windows Explorer open and quit out of Unreal Editor entirely. Now what you want to do is go to iClone and Plugins menu, Character Creator and iClone Auto Setup, and browse files. And then open up the Unreal folder. And then open up Auto Setup 1.32 for Unreal 5.2 and copy the content folder. And then you want to go back to the root of your project and paste. And it may prompt you to overwrite files or it may not. So then just double click the U project again to open it up. And once again, update if it prompts you. And you'll now see a CC shaders folder in your content browser. So the next step is to add a MetaHuman. So just go up to your quick add and then go Quixel Bridge. Sign into your account if you haven't already. Then on the left-hand side, click on MetaHumans, and then it will default to MetaHuman presets. Now choose a MetaHuman. And in this example, I'm going to use Glenda. So click on its tile. Then on the right-hand side, make sure that it says MetaHuman preset 2.0.0, and that is the latest, as of the recording of this video, which is August 24, 2023. So go ahead and set your MetaHuman to the highest quality if you've got an option, and then click to download it, and then click to add it to your scene. And once that successfully finishes, you can close the Quixel Bridge window. Now, in the content browser, double-click on MetaHumans, and then double-click on your character's name, and then drag your character's blueprint into the scene and let go. It may prompt you to update missing project settings and missing plugins. Just click to enable all of those. And if it prompts you to restart, go ahead and click Restart. And then just click on Save Selected. And once it opens up again, it might say preparing shaders. Just wait for that process to finish. And you may need to drag your blueprint for your MetaHuman into the scene again if it isn't already there. That sometimes happens. But either way, make sure your MetaHuman is selected on the map. And then in the details panel, zero out the location. And in the outliner, click on the floor. And then go to its detail panel and reset it. And you might want to move the camera around so you can see the front of your MetaHuman. Now go to File, Save All, just to save the progress. Now open up the livelink window if you haven't already got it open. So that's Window, Virtual Production, livelink. The next step is to add a CC character in iClone and transfer it over to Unreal. So let's get that started by switching to iClone. And we want to add a CC4 character to the scene. So I'm going to just add one of the default CC4 characters. I'm going to choose CC4 Susan. And then I'm going to choose an animation to add. I'm just looking for something that has identifiable body and facial movement. So now what I'm going to do is adjust my region and then turn on loop, because I'm going to use that a little bit later so that it just keeps playing. But for right now, what I need to do is transfer this to Unreal. So go up to the plugins menu, Unreal Livelink, Unreal Livelink. Once you've got that open, click on the Transfer tab, and then make sure you've got Scene selected. And then deselect Prop, Camera, and Light. And you'll just have Character selected up atop, as well as your CC4 character. So now, make sure that you've only got one Unreal project open. This is really important. If you've got more than one, it's going to get confused when you press Transfer File. So go ahead and press Transfer File. And it's going to take a few minutes. And a command prompt is going to appear as it runs through transferring the character from iClone to Unreal. And it's using that auto setup and that CC shaders folder that we copied into our Unreal project to make a version of our CC4 character inside of Unreal. And that's going to help us with our retargeting. And then once the command prompt disappears, with iClone still open, go back to the Unreal Livelink window, and at the top, change to the Link tab. Turn off the radio buttons next to Prop, Camera, and Light, so you just have character and then your CC4 character enabled. And then at the bottom of the panel, click on Activate Link. Now play on your timeline and move that window out of the way. It's important that you don't minimize this, otherwise it's going to stop playing. So back in Unreal, you'll see that the CC4 character has been added, and then you've also got your MetaHuman. If you want to, you could actually start the live link, but it's not going to work very well, so I would just minimize that for now. And we're on to step 5, and this is making a file called mh_cc. So in the outliner, select the blueprint for your MetaHuman, and then press Delete on the keyboard. So now only your CC4 character is left in the scene. In the outliner, to the right of your CC4 character's name, click to edit its blueprint. In the editor window that appears, in the top left Components panel, click the Add button, and then in the search field below, type in Child, and then click on Child Actor. Rename the new child actor as mh_cc, and then press Enter. In the Details panel on the right, change the child actor class dropdown to be the blueprint for your MetaHuman. So in this case, my MetaHuman is called Glenda, so I've typed that in, then I'm going to click on it. Now in the top ribbon, click on Compile, and you can ignore the yellow warning icon, and then click on Save. And you can go ahead and close this editor window. Step 6, adjusting the CC4 character blueprint. So in the outliner, click your CC4 character's name, and in the details panel, twirl up animation and all the other ones except for livelink, so you can easily see livelink. Now in here, type in the name of your CC4 character if it's not automatically entered already. Now, still in the details panel, scroll down to rendering, and where it says visible, turn off that checkbox. Now go up to the file menu and go save all once again. Step 7, edit the blueprint for your MetaHuman. In the outliner, just under your CC4 character, click to edit your MetaHuman's blueprint. So in this example, I'm going to click on this button here. And in the editor window that appears, go to the top left components panel and scroll down and click on LOD Sync. On the right-hand side in the details panel, under Forced LOD, change that to 0. Back in the top left components panel, click on the Add button, and then underneath type in Live, and then click on livelink skeletal animation. You don't need to rename that, so just press Enter. And then in the details panel on the right hand side, enable the checkbox for auto activate. Now on the top ribbon, click Compile, and you can go ahead and save. And then you can minimize this window for your MetaHuman's blueprint. Step 8, add third-person blueprints. So in your content browser, go to All Content, click the Add button. Right near the top, click on Add Feature or Content Pack. And in the window that pops up, make sure you're on Blueprint, and then click on Third Person, and then click Add to Project. Then you can close that pop-up window. And in the content browser, in All Content, there'll be a folder called Characters, which is going to be important. So now just go up to File menu and go Save All once again. And what we need to do is close the Unreal Editor completely. Alright, step 9. Now you need to download StyleMarshall's Character Creator 4 UE5.2 livelink kit files. And once you've got the zip file, unzip it so you've got a folder. And then copy the content folder from in there. Then go to your Unreal project and paste into the root, so it overwrites anything inside that content folder that it needs to. So go ahead and open up your Unreal Engine project again. And we're now ready for step 10, creating an ABP retarget file. So once Unreal opens up again, you can say yes if you want to reopening the existing blueprint. Now in the outliner, go to the right of your MetaHuman's blueprint and click on Edit, or just bring up the window if you've already got it open. In the top left-hand side in the Components panel, click on Body. Then in the Details panel on the right, go down to under Mesh, there's Skeletal Mesh Asset, and then a tile. Double-click on that tile. Then in the top right of the interface, there's an icon that looks like a skeleton. Click that. Now in the top left, you want to go to an icon that looks like a magnifying glass over a folder, and click that, and then minimize this editor window. And you'll see in your content browser that MetaHuman base Skell has been selected. So you can deselect that. We just wanted to get to this folder. So in a blank area of the content browser, right-click and go Animation, Animation Blueprint. And in the window that pops up, click on MetaHuman base Skell. And then click on Create. Rename the file as ABP_retarget and press Enter. Now once again go up to File, Save All, because Unreal is prone to crashing, and double click on the file that you just made. In the editor window that pops up, make sure the Anim graph is open. And if it's not, in the My Blueprint panel in the bottom left-hand side, you can double-click on Anim graph under Animation Graphs. So now, in the Anim graph, you can middle mouse scroll down to zoom out just a little bit and move it just to the right a bit, so you can right-click just to the left of the Output Pose node and type in retarget space pose. Then click on retarget pose from mesh. Connect the output of that new tile to the result of the output pose. Now click on the new retarget pose from mesh tile, and in the details panel on the right hand side, click on the drop down to the right of IK retargeter asset. Select the item called RTGCC. And then in the top ribbon of the editor window, click on Compile. And once again, ignore the yellow warning icon that comes up and click the Save icon. Now you can close this individual editor tab and minimize this editor window. Step 11. Add body retargeter to our MetaHuman. Now in the outliner, click to edit your MetaHuman blueprint once again. And then in the Components panel on the left, click on Body. And in the Details panel, change Anim class to ABP retarget, which is the file that you just made. Now, below here, a new mesh section will have appeared. Make sure your MetaHuman's correct body type is selected here, and make sure it isn't the preview, but the actual body skeletal mesh. In the top ribbon, click on Compile, and then click Save. So now we need to do step 12, change the face blueprint. So with the editor window still open for your MetaHuman's blueprint, in the Components panel in the top left, click on Face. Then in the Details panel on the right, under Anim class, change this to Face Anim BP _CC. And that's one of the files from StyleMarshall's kit. In the top ribbon, click on Compile and then Save. And then you can minimize this overall editor window. And now we need to do the final step, step 13, establish livelink. In your livelink window, click on Source, iClone livelink, and then OK. Minimize the livelink window. And then in the content browser, go to All, Content, MetaHumans, Common, Face, and then double-click to open Face Anim BP _CC. In the Details panel on the top right, change the livelink face subject to be your CC4 character's name. And you can click on Compile and Save and minimize this overall editor window. And now you've got a livelink connection that's connecting your body and your face. And I can put another example in. Not much going on with the face there. Just to show that it's working, I'm going to adjust her face with an absurd smile and have that playing, and you can see it's working. Now, the bodies won't be the exact same size between iClone and Unreal. So in the outliner, if you select your CC4 character, and then in the details panel below, type in VIS, so you can quickly see rendering visible, and then turn that on again, you'll see the size discrepancy. And that's going to cause some issues with hand placement and various other things. So really your CC4 character needs to exactly match the size of your MetaHuman. And that's the whole reason that iClone brought out their MetaHuman kit, which includes dummies that exactly match MetaHumans. Unfortunately, those dummies don't have CC4 extended facial profiles, which you need to do proper facial animation inside iClone to then connect to a MetaHuman. And unfortunately, you can't just add a face to the dummy because Headshot 2 doesn't actually support the dummy type of body. It lets you get to a certain point, then you can't choose current. Anyway, thanks so much for following along with this tutorial, and I hope it was useful to show you how to get this all working. Thanks again to StyleMarshall for all of his help explaining this process.